Happy New Year. I'm back. Vacation is over. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it popping. What's going on, my people? How you doing? You miss me? I miss y'all. Yeah. What a blessing to be in 2026. Hope everybody's doing well. First show back of the new year. And I'll be talking to Jay Hollywood The Barber. He's an entrepreneur. He's a podcaster. He has a big event coming up next month. I'll be talking to him about. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. Just waiting for him to join in. So I hope everybody had a decent holiday, and I hope everybody had a blessed new year, and you're starting it off on the right foot. You're being positive and all that. You want to start the new year off right. And my special guest has gone into the room. Okay, hold on for 1 second. Oh, before to go over to the YouTube page, the official YouTube channel, please like, share, comment, good or bad. I'll take it off. Jay,
Yo, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let me just raise up because my head's cut off. There we go. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me on today. This is cool. I'm usually on the other side, inviting other people over, so this is cool. This is cool to kind of go back now to the other side, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to highlight people that are doing positive things, especially when they can be an inspiration to other people. And I viewed you as one of those people, so that's why you're on my show.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
So, go ahead. Tell my people who you are and your background and what's going on with you.
Sure. I was gonna say, man, that's kind of like been my whole MO, my whole life, like more community based. I've been a barber for about 20 years. I've been on my own for the last 10. It's been an amazing journey so far. But I would say that's kind of what my whole thing is. I need to see things grow past like a selfish level. You know, I've had
Yeah.
my selfish moments when I was in, my early 20s, and I got to grow. I've traveled. I've seen different things. I've had multiple business ventures. It grew my mind to understanding that anything I'm probably going to do now has to continue to be community based. It only makes sense at this point.
Yeah. Amen. So I'm sure being a barber, you hear a lot of great conversation. And I'm sure that you can get a lot of subject matter for your show. What are some of the things you talk about on your show?
Uh, I'll be honest, it's a lot of coming to age. It's a lot of stuff that what the common person may have thought was cool, or the social aspect that I think a lot of people are misled on. It's like I would kind of talk about it. I was the guy that I guess I'm not gonna say it here, but like I've been in a couple different realms and I got to see all areas. The facade, the
Yeah.
fakeness. I was a part of it, and I was making money in the industries for a while. It was cool. Met a lot of people, a lot of empty people, a lot of people
Mm.
that wanted to take things from you, and I guess it warped my perception. By the time I was about 30 years old, I shut off to a lot of the things that I thought were my uprising, but really was kind of like my downfall in disguise. So
Mm.
just having that knowledge is kind of what I talk about. From partying to you smoking, drinking, all the reckless crap. Just coming out of it, and seeing what matters most on the other side.
Uh, I like that. And the other thing I would add too, it's it's because you're a man, you're male, it's male driven. And there isn't a lot of platforms for us that will help, pour into us to help us be better individuals as men.
I agree.
What is it that you think is wrong with the youth? Because you being a barber, I predict also too that you're kind of like a person that is keen on energy and keen on discernment of people. What do you think that the issue is with our youth of now and how they relate to being men of the or in the community?
Right. Wow. That's something I talk about with my younger guys and some of my guys. But I think I'm not going to go off topic here, but I'm going to maybe steer it in a different direction. I kind of believe that there's an 80-20 out there in life. I think there's
Mm.
20% of the males out there that maybe want to be a leader, even though they don't know how. Or so I guess the problem with the youth today is that generations past, I believe, didn't have to do certain things that we're doing today. I think
Right.
the primitive stuff is the same. We go to work, we pay our bills. It's just complicated itself. That could be a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I do believe because of the constraint that the financial system has put on the youth, I do believe that once they start trying, right? I've been doing this for almost 20 years. There were multiple moments in the first 2 years where I just wanted out, and I didn't see what the benefit was on the other side. And I think the problem with the youth is that the youth themselves, they give up too fast. They don't have a
Mm.
mentor. They don't have the proper community. And like I said, that's what I've been trying to build and have been building for the last 10 years by myself. But, I believe that's the problem. Like, people need to know where to go. And
Right.
unfortunately, it's not the Instagram. It's not the guy trying to sell you $1 million dream with a $20 program, because
Yeah.
the program got him rich. He didn't even get rich before that, I
Yeah.
just think that sometimes you need wisdom to be able to show some of the community that a lot of their feelings are more arrogant and they're just unadvised. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, without advisement, that's what destroys our youth. And we've even
Yeah.
got our 40-year-olds now, 50-year-olds that are now lost in this societal soup that we got going on with showing everybody how great things are. It's like, dude, I'm not saying I got a bad life. I love my life for what I'm created for, but life is hard. Life is
Yeah.
very hard if you're actually truly living it, I think.
Yeah. I agree. There's a lot of false narratives going around, and people are buying into that like it's their reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad, but I also was a part of that. I believed at some point in my life that that was prosperous, and my ego was prosperous for the time that I believed that.
Yeah. So you yourself, in your life, have dealt with some adversity. We had talked privately offline, and you told me about your health issue. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. I was born with an extremely rare bone disorder called osteogenesis imperfecta. Anybody that's ever seen the movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis and Samuel L., that's the disorder that I have. Basically, my bones don't produce collagen. I have like the collagen of like a 2-year-old, and my bones are like glass. And as of right now, I've on record broken over 70. I stopped counting. We stopped going to the doctors. My body's become physical, hard, callous at this point. So, and I guess the adversity was my father has this as well. And
Mm.
we were both told we'd be in wheelchairs by the time we were 30. And my father is 55, so he's in his 50s right now, and he's trucking right now. He's in great health. He goes to the gym every day. He's a very positive person. So, I learned from him to get through that type of stuff. But I don't know if I could break it down kind of simply. You break a bone, and it's 3 months of just thinking instead of doing. And I think a lot of the things that led me to be in my career state and what I'm doing now probably came from a lot of times that I sat and did nothing but thought.
Wow.
I think
So,
I did the math. I spent 10 years of my life sitting still.
wow. In your youth, right? When being male, probably rambunctious. How did you deal with that? Like, what's like one of the breaks that you had that came from the most random thing?
I rolled out of bed and I cracked my femur.
Wow.
Little, 2 foot off the, was, thank God. my mom made a joke. She got me a queen bed because I was in a single, and it just freaked her out. But yeah, something as small as that. I once put my hand on a railing just to support myself and snap my wrist. Um, I can't tell you how many times like I naturally just have broken fingers and toes from just stupid shit. Like, you know, I don't
Wow.
know. It's interesting, man. It's a interesting disorder. I mentally don't really think about it. I'm kind of just
Hmm.
doing what I do. I'm in the gym all the time. I'm ridiculously strong for my size. Like, I've
Hmm.
trained for, I don't know, I'm 36 now. I've been training for almost 20 years. As long as I've
Okay.
been barbering. As long as I've been
Yeah.
barbering.
Yeah. How do you deal with pain management?
I smoke weed. Straight
Talk
up.
about that though. Like, tell me about it. Like, what does it do for you, and when did you start doing that?
I remember I started smoking probably when I was in college. I remember I drank for a while in my 20s, and I said by the time I was 30, I was just going to be done with it. And I have, like, count on one hand how many times I've been drunk in the last 6 years. I'm just not a fan of alcohol, the false reality of it.
Hmm.
But the weed, I almost felt like, I like to live life in HD. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see that. It's like
Yeah.
I'm seeing things that maybe my sober mind wouldn't, and so I know some people may not agree with this, but I do agree with the lack of ego that comes with like smoking. You
Mm.
can put yourself forward in more of a neutral position with people instead of alcohol, where I think I probably screamed in somebody's ear about a football game 7 times about the same thing in each night and could probably not give a shit. That's the distortion of alcohol. It's like I never got anything accomplished with it.
Right.
Weed, I did.
Right.
I accomplished a lot of shit smoking, surprisingly.
So a lot. I know it's controversial to talk about weed and the benefits of it, but if I personally don't see the issue with it if it's helping you, especially on the medical end, and you're able to, you know, pain relief and management, and I'm sure it makes you forget about certain things. I'm sure.
Yeah, it can do that. It can take, I mean, I have about 8 compressed discs in my spine right now.
Wow.
Um, a couple of the discs have like degenerated over the years. Uh, I mean, smoking weed itself just kind of just takes that little bit of inflammation away to like get my mind to think about something normal. If not, usually if I don't smoke, I'm usually running around trying to burn my adrenaline because if I burn my adrenaline, maybe I don't feel it as bad. But
Yeah. Yeah.
that's I prefer that over pain pills, Xanax. I've seen the medical world. I've had people suffer from nasty addiction problems, and I've lost some friends over pills. And to me, I never needed to be high. I just needed to manage the pain. Like so,
Right.
for me, that's where I say weed has been a benefit. I've seen these people
Yeah.
take these pills, and next thing you know, they're robbing their mom. Like I never. Man, I might have ate a little extra, you know what I mean, or slept in a little too long, but like that's
Yeah.
been the
Yeah.
downfall of smoking.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the barbershop?
Um, in my own, since 2016, in the industry since 2008, and with clippers in my hand since I was like 5.
Okay. All right.
I
So
knew what I was going to do.
so how old were you when you decided to make it a business? Like you knew that you could make money off of it?
Um, like business for myself, or would you say, like just to take it seriously as a business?
So at one point in time, I could cut hair because I believe practice makes perfect. There was a point in time where I could cut hair. And when I realized that I could cut hair, I
Yeah.
started making money off of it. I think I was like 13 or 14, maybe. And I did that for a number of years and then I stopped. And so when I
Oh,
stopped, I.
dude, you're bringing me back for a second. 17.
Okay.
17, I had
Okay.
my car finally. Everybody was always coming to my mom's basement, and my mom
Hmm.
was cool with it. And then I think one day, like, I was genuinely bringing like 8, 9 people in, and she's like, like, what's going on here? And then I'm like, oh man. And the next thing you know, I went to Phenomenal's Barbershop where I would get my hair cut.
Mm-hmm.
I saw my mentor, Rondell Thurman, amazing human being. He's also somebody of interest you should speak with. He's a great
Okay.
dude. But yeah, he said, you can't work here. And I said, why? He's like, you need to go get your license. I said, oh shit. So I learned real quick. It was like, all right, do I really want to do this? Everybody's telling me to do it. And it was a teetering point. I had just gotten kicked out of school and college. I didn't really have a lot of money. So I found ways to make money, and I had a SWAT team raid my room. It was, one of them life lessons. And I think that's when I came home, had my car, and to keep myself out of trouble, I was like, yeah, I'll cut your hair. I'll come to you. Dude, you don't even got to pay. Like, I
Yeah.
need to keep my mind from not selling this or, doing that or just
Yeah.
stupid activity.
Yeah. Those are the stories that I like to hear because you meet people on their level. You know what I mean? And if you can do it, they can do it too. And it's a great inspiration to see someone like yourself so forthcoming and telling the truth about your life and how you rose above your obstacles. I love that.
Thank you.
And how long have you had this shop?
I've had my shop for since 2016.
And what's the name of it?
High Rise. Called Hollywood's
So
High Rise. My buddy Mark came up with the name a while ago, and it just stuck.
I like it. I like it. So you're a businessman of multiple sorts. What else do you have going on? Because I know we connected on the MMA stuff. I saw what you were doing, but I want to know everything that you're doing. What else is going on with you?
So right now, I put a lot of my businesses. I put a lot of my businesses down, not because they didn't succeed, but due to time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had two supplement companies, both did well. One broke even, one made money.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Like we spent some time doing something called no lag, and unfortunately, we had just reached a really really good point, and then COVID cracked us, and it took away all the gaming stuff that we were working towards, which was all good because I learned something really valuable in that process. Like
Yeah.
everything I've done so far. I had a landscaping company for literally like 2 weeks, and I just thought it was horrendous, and just kind of I think I broke even on that. Like I just gave it to a buddy of mine for like something cheap. Trying to think, I've flipped houses, I've sold houses, done renovate. I mean, I don't want to say like I'm a real estate guy, but I played in the real estate world. It's did very well for me. But it was probably one of the most complicating things I ever had to deal with. So I kind of just didn't want to continue. Also found there was a lot of snakes in the industry and not everything goes as told. Even when everything's on paper, there's always still something that someone has an edge over. And to me, I'm not that kind of player in the game. So it's like I stay out of places where there's snakes in the pit.
No, I
Um,
got that.
yeah, we got the fight coming up. And other than that, my barber business. But other than that, I like to kind of focus on mainly barbering. And then when barbering gives me an opportunity to grow something else, I'll go to the next phase. Don't necessarily like to stay on something too long before either I'll sell it off or, maybe just shut it down. But I feel like it's got to be worth it. I don't want to kill myself for money. There has to be a genuine purpose past the money. And if it's,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Now speak to me about OFF. What does OFF mean and what's going on with it?
OFF is, I'm looking at the sign right now. It's the Only Fights Federation. It's an MMA promotion. Been to a lot of fights and kind of noticed there was nothing in New Jersey. And it is tough to do it in New Jersey. The laws, regulations are a little more strict. But,
Mm-hmm.
just saw the community as a whole always like traveling outwards. And I'm like, what if we can kind of bring everybody together in this area, something local? My other business partner, Nick, he runs a tattoo convention in the same hotel. And once I saw like the type of community building that it does, I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
show's been running now for almost 6 years, and it keeps growing every year. And it's not a private show, but it's not crazy marketed or anything like that. It's a
Yeah.
good wholesome group of people. We want to do that with the fight community.
Yeah. I was really excited to see that something like that was coming to Cherry Hill, and that's what caught my attention, and that's why I reached out to you.
Are you from
Uh,
Cherry
wh-
Hill?
I'm actually from Camden originally. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I spent a little time there when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Not such a
bit.
bad place. It gets a bad rap, but
You know what though? I've learned some of my most amazing survival skills in that place. I
yeah.
learned. Actually, you know what? I think I agree. It could definitely have some areas where people could not be happy with, but there's something I believe that truly came from me being in Camden, and that was you really should just respect people for who they are. Don't talk
Hmm.
shit. And I think, I watched, not myself personally deal with it, but I would just listen to people that ran their mouth. And that was just something I learned never to do from like a very young, even if I'm frustrated, like we've got our moments, but there's a potential somebody might not like that. I've seen it personally,
Yeah.
so I'm just not going to do it, you know?
I feel you. So, what's the date of the event?
The fight is February 28th. It's going to be at the Doubletree Inn Hotel, Cherry Hill, in the
Okay.
Grand Ballroom.
And where can people get tickets?
Right now on onlyfightsfederation.com, as soon as you open up the link, there's a huge thing that says tickets for sale. Click the link, and it has a couple of different options available. We are telling people, though, cage side is very specific for this fight. I could go into that in a second. But for people that want a cage side seat, it would have to be a requested ticket.
Okay. All right.
A very interesting clientele of people coming in, some UFC people. We have Netflix building the set. I have a crew from the NFL filming it. So, we'd like to take certain aspects of the show and amplify it a little bit. I feel like the fights are always fun, that's always a good thing. But I did see one thing that I wish would have came out a little harder. Not as many of these organizations really give the fighters the platform of necessarily the professional life. I do
Yeah.
think that sometimes if you give somebody that wants to be something the actual opportunity, you could almost either give them a fair ending to a journey of ego or truly give them a start to something amazing. So we want to give these guys the opportunity to say, if you're really about it and you step up, this is it.
Yeah. I can see that. Well, I told you earlier, I'll be there with Entourage. I definitely am not going to miss it.
That's fantastic.
Um,
So excited.
wh- I want you to shout out how people can keep up with you and follow your journey.
Oh, yeah. My Instagram is J Hollywood The Barber. I mean, I'm not much of a poster these days. I really just kind of post maybe what I'm doing for the day, but I do kind of keep the same thing. Like when I first looked at your page, I was like, oh, okay, who am I talking to? And then I saw what you were about, and I'm like, okay, he is a progressive person. You'll probably find the same stuff on my page if someone's interested in following. I don't
Hmm.
really post a lot about my disorder. A lot of the things that people maybe kind of have asked me over the years, I'd rather be more on a personal one-to-one conversation basis instead of leaving information open on the public to divulge. But yeah, if they want to see me there, Jay Hollywood the Barber on Instagram. That's really the only thing I kind of follow these days.
And shout out the barbershop. Where's your barbershop located?
It's in a private location.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm all about the business.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I ask people when they come on my show is to do a manifestation of sorts, like put something out in the universe, because I've learned that this is a powerful portal and we have power of the tongue. And when you speak something into existence, it can manifest. So, if you would like to, have at it.
I don't know. I guess make everything fine. Everything's gonna be okay. I've always kind of, me and my wife from time to time would just say it's gonna be okay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's it. Just gonna be okay. And at the end of the day, it usually is. I think we get on my back. I know you can't really see it, but I don't have any room left. I'm tattooed like almost head to toe. but on my back it says life's pains and life's lessons. And I think every time I've gotten a lesson at this point in my life, it's genuinely made it better and showed me that these moments are very monetary. So when I'm not in the right state of mind, it's like, yeah, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be all right. You know, I mean, I trust in myself. I trust in my family. I trust in my team. I'm somebody that, as much as I'm like a lone wolf in my own activities, you know, over the years I've built my community of people that like hold each other up, hold each other accountable, and you know, for the betterment of us as men. You know, I don't
Mm-hmm.
speak for women. I only speak for the men that I talk to in here and the children that they bring. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like we opened it up with, you know, community-based stuff. It's like, that's it. You know, the
Yeah.
community is going to be okay. We're all here for each other.
Indeed. I like that. I appreciate that as well. Brother, it's been a pleasure talking to you. If I don't see
Absolutely.
you before February, I will definitely see you at the end of February, brother.
Absolutely, man. Give me a shout and I will make sure, all right? I
All
appreciate you
right.
letting me
Will
on.
do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.